What is going on, guys? My name is Ben. How are you guys doing today? Whatever you today, in this video is my thoughts about Samsung's most recent event, the Unpacked event, which is when they announced the Galaxy S6, the S6 Edge, and then of course with these new devices they announced the Gear VR, which by the way I did do a recap video, and in that recap video I stated that I could not find a picture of the new Gear VR that they were demonstrating with the new Galaxy S6 in there. I was thinking that photo was actually the previous version, but you know, I guess it was the newer one. Well, I'm going to show you the one that they showed at the show right here. So that's what the Gear VR looks like, and without further ado, let's get on to my thoughts. And of course, you can also leave your thoughts in the comments below after you're done watching this video. So let's start out with the Galaxy S6. So really, they've redesigned it. Instead of using a lot of plastic, they decided to combine this design with metal and glass. And not only that, you do find some significant differences between the Galaxy S5 and the previous S devices to the Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge, which I'm going to talk about later in this video. So with the new Galaxy S6, you do not have a removable battery and you do not have expandable storage. Samsung did this because in the event, which I did watch finally, they stated they could not put a built-in battery into their devices until they felt confident that customers will feel confident whenever they're charging their devices. And they were stating that some companies would put in built-in batteries for the design of the device, but in terms of battery life, this is what I'm getting from them. By what they stated, they're saying that other companies aren't really putting much work into battery life by just keeping them built in and then making the design look awesome or making it a very nice design. And it looks like Samsung was able to do that. One thing I find very interesting, and I'm not 100% sure on how true this is, but at the same time, I have heard some people with the Galaxy Note 4, Samsung was saying with a 10-minute charge from completely dead to after 10 minutes, you're going to get at least 4 hours of battery life before it dies out again. And note to self, this is not being charged fully. And I'm thinking, how true can that be? But at the same time, the couple people I know around town have the Galaxy Note 4, and they stated that it charges pretty fast just by using the primary cable and the AC adapter that was used or came with the Galaxy Note 4. So I guess in a way this is kind of true, but it just seems too good to be true in my opinion. Not only that, Samsung has integrated wireless charging in there, which is built in, so you can basically just take your phone and then put on the pad. We've seen multiples of those already. So other than that, you know, 3 gigs of RAM, you know, Exynos processor. I can't name off all the specs off the top of my head right now, but if you see my recap video, you already know the specs. And Samsung has talked about the camera, and they're stating that they have an improved camera compared to the Galaxy S5. Now, what's interesting is I also have a few friends who had the Galaxy S5 and also had an iPod Touch 5th generation. And they were telling me that the Galaxy S5's camera is not that great compared to the iPod Touch 5th generation. And in my own head, I'm thinking, let's see, 5 megapixel on the iPod Touch versus 16 megapixels on the Galaxy S5. And then you got 1080p recording video on the iPod Touch 5th generation, excuse me. And I believe what's the same thing for the S5. And they were stating to me that the camera is not that great compared to the iPod Touch 5th generation. And what I do know is megapixels don't really matter that much. It's just on how the camera is handling the pictures as you are taking them. And Samsung was demonstrating the S6's camera versus an iPhone 6 Plus, where if you're in a dark environment, they were demonstrating this in an outdoor environment with some lighting conditions on the boat, and then there was a couple standing in there, and they were showing on the iPhone 6 Plus, it looks very dark whenever you're recording with a video. And then they showed the Galaxy S6's camera, and they were showing that being all pretty much almost all bright, as if it was actually daylight outside. Now, I couldn't remember if they stated that they used the LED flash. And at the same time, I'm thinking they did not state it, and they were probably trying to show this off by not using the LED flash. And if that is the case, I'm thinking, well, if it's too dark, that's when you use the LED flash when you're recording a video to shine the light wherever you want to record it at. I mean, if you're trying to do it with the front-facing camera, then I can understand why it'd be so dark. But if you're using a rear-facing camera, you should be using the LED flash while you're recording at night, or if you're in a dark room. Or that's people who use the LED flash just as a flashlight, believe it or not. I mean, with iOS, and I'm pretty sure you can do this on Android too, all I have to do is just hit this one button and boom, you got the flashlight right there, and then just push it again to shut off the flashlight. Android, I know you got to use a flashlight app, but I'm not 100% sure if there was an integrated flashlight button like there is in iOS right here. So really, that really needs to be tested out in my own eyes, with my own hands. But if Samsung is really trying to compete with the iPhone 6 Plus's camera, and they're up par with their statements, then okay, I guess there's competition going on with the camera. So other than that, Samsung has removed a lot of bloatware that got in the way. They were mentioning how you have certain icons for a certain task, like to close out a window or to minimize a window or to like show more options. Instead, they replaced those icons with actual text. And plus, they changed a little bit of the colors to represent a certain things, such as like phone was green, video was purple, context was orange. But no, other than that, that's like very little details. Alright, with all this integrated, putting all these together, let's talk about the Galaxy S6 Edge. So the S6 Edge is pretty much like the S6, the regular one, but with curved screens on either side, right here and right here of the screen itself. Curved edges. Now, we've seen this with the Galaxy Note Edge, but it's only curved on one side. With the Galaxy S6 Edge, now it's curved on one side here and then the other right here, which is pretty unique in my opinion, because you don't really see phones like that. I mean, you do see phones like the LG Flex 2, for example. It flexes on this side right here from the bottom and the top, but not curved on the edges right here. Me personally, it's more unique to have the screen curve at the edge versus on the top and the bottom right here, but then again, it just depends on how you're using it and what's your preference. Although, if I do see the LG Flex 2, maybe I might appreciate it with it flexing, because I did really like that flexing when I first saw it, and now that I see the S6 Edge, I'm like, there may be some competition going on right here, but these are meant for different purposes. Other than that, the Gear VR was pretty much a new one announced for these two devices right here, and still teamed up with Oculus Rift on this virtual reality device, and therefore that is pretty much my thoughts about the S6 as far as if I would recommend it or not. It really depends on your taste. I can't tell you to get this, I can't tell you to get that. It really depends on your preference. You like iOS? Great. Stick with iOS and go ahead and upgrade to a newer iPhone if you can. If you're tired of the iPhone and you want to go to Android or Windows Phone or BlackBerry, then go ahead and check those devices out. You won't be disappointed. I can definitely tell you, if you want to get Android, Samsung and HTC is the way to go. And also some of the other manufacturers right there. Really, it depends on which brand you like and which one you feel is more reliable for you. For me, I would prefer HTC or Samsung, but like I said, the LG Flex 2 really caught my eye when I saw it flex at the top and the bottom. So that means maybe LG might get some love from me. I don't know. Motorola, if you like Motorola because it sells an unlocked phone for only a little over $100, great, go ahead and get Motorola. So it really depends on what you want. and what you can get out of a phone that's most suitable for you. Me personally, I've used iOS for a while, and I'm ready to switch to try something new. And if you feel that you're iOS all the way and you really like how simple it is compared to Android and whatever operating systems out there, great. Go ahead and stick with what you like. If it works for you, stick with it. If you need to upgrade or replace it, go ahead and get it. Otherwise, just stick with what you got here. So anyway, what do you guys think? Go ahead and leave your comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. I'm interested to see what you guys think about these two devices. Will you be getting it on April 10th when it comes out? Pricing is unknown at the moment, but well, what do you expect the prices to be? Do you expect it to be the same, or do you expect them to rise a little bit with all these added features in there? More than likely that's not the case, but that is a possibility. So that's it. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.